All right, so you got Hendo, you've got Rich Franklin, and you've got not so much Talis Lattes, but maybe Irwin, to look at different fights, look at different fights that Anderson fought. Can you take all of those guys together and maybe fight each one and talk to them about their experience with him and take something away from that? Is that even a possible strategy for training?
I don't think I'm gonna do a series of interviews. I think I just kind of watch the tape and see where they went wrong.
Are you afraid to fight this guy?
I'm not afraid of any person. Well, maybe Dana, but I'm not afraid of fighting anyone. No, I mean there's there's excitement and fear that comes with fighting. That comes with if you just say, Forrest, I want you to walk in front of all those people and do something to excite them and don't disappoint them, then I'm going to be nervous about doing that.
Right.
So it's those kind of nerves. But there's almost a little freedom in fighting the best guy. You can't do any worse than people have done.
Right.
That's not a really good way to look at it, but I don't care.
Well, that's a good way to go into a fight, though. When you sort of feel like you've got nothing to lose, usually you do much better, don't you?
Maybe, yeah. I do personally.
All right, let's talk about your book for a second. Randy's written a book. Tito's written a book. There's a book by John Wertheim about Pat Miletich. Matt Hughes wrote a book. This is like the 5th or 6th book by one of you famous fighters.
Yeah, well, there's a trend, so I want to get in on that. I like to do what's trendy. That's me.
Dana White always compliments you and gives you credit for where the UFC is today, you and Stephan Bonnar. And UFC 101 is going to be a big fight because not only is it the first fight in Philadelphia, but you're going to fight the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. When you get to a point in your career, where do you look at your journey and say, how the hell did I get here?
Well, I think
which is like how I feel about that question. I wondered how the hell I got to that, but anyway.
I think perspective is better left for the future, when I'm not doing it anymore. Right now, kind of like I enjoy the moment, just, live in the moment and train and try and, just win your next fight, any big task, if you look at the grand picture of beating somebody or doing something or being champ, it seems, too big to accomplish. So just watch the footstep in front of you, And that's what I do. Try and win little battles every day.
Do you have fun? Do you have fun?
Yeah, you have to have fun. That's a good question, though, because, there was something about sometimes you don't have fun. There's a lot of pressure, But, it is what it is. You got to do the best you can do, and, you can put all the pressure on yourself in the world. I'm not sure how much it makes you better.
Do you like where the UFC is?
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't I? Once they get it legal in New York and get that fight in Madison Square Garden, I think they'll like where it is too.
Yeah, and that's in fact this week there's a vote coming up. It probably won't happen until 2010. You got a guy named Bob Riley who's totally against it.
I've heard, yeah.
But I interviewed him on the show.
Not Bob O'Reilly.
Not Bob O'Reilly. Speaking of Bob O'Reilly, by the way, no matter how many times I see that pre-fight video,
awesome. Yeah,
I cannot pull my eyes away from it. And of course, you and Stephan are the end of the song.
Yeah, that's really, and that's one of those little things you don't get unless you go to a live show.
Right.
Which kind of give you that, and that gets me fired up. I know it gets the audience kind of in the frame of mind to see it, and they don't play it until it's about to get good.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
It kind of reminds me of a big pop band or a big rock band who plays the same song, and everybody wants to hear that same song.
Yeah.
Do you get sick of talking about the Stephan Bonnar fight?
I do, but if I'm Mark Hamill, that's my Star Wars. I'm not here if it's not for that fight. So of course I'm sick of it. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? You can't really hate the horse that brought you where you are. That doesn't make sense. But you get my drift.
I get your drift.
And the book's full of analogies like that don't really make sense, but almost.
The book is a lot of, like you said, I didn't read it yet, but I've been thumbing through it, and it's a lot of fun. A Band-Aid King, Warthogs, Clawboy. It's not exactly what I think, well, it is what people I think would expect from you, actually.
Yeah.
Because you do have that warped sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, I was yelling at my mom the other day for not making us a little poor when I grew up. Because I really can't write a book about how bad I had it. We were lower middle class.
Pat Miletich and
we were
Matt
lower
Hughes.
middle class.
Right.
And Wick.
Talk to me about this picture.
Yeah.
How'd you pick that picture?
All right. You can see the nice hair comb and job there. I don't even know what that picture's from. And actually,
I think I know what it's from.
If we look at it carefully, I have my $100 leather jacket in there that I bought off a homeless guy. But
that's an after picture of one of your fights backstage.
no,
it isn't.
No, it isn't. It's just a random picture that some guy took, and it looks horrible. and that they had like these good-looking pictures, like me, like almost like trying to look handsome and stuff. And I was like, that's garbage. Don't be that guy. You're not handsome. You're never gonna be. Don't try.
Just bear with me 1 second. Wondering why you should purchase this book when there are other titles on the shelves written by much higher caliber fighters. Forrest Griffin is not as good looking as those guys. He's not as smart as them. He's not as athletically endowed. And let's face it, neither are you. I mean, that's just type of the stuff that you're going to... And also, there's on the back of the book where everybody does their endorsements. Joe Rogan, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, Bruce Buffer. And then Forrest Griffin writes of himself. Forrest Griffin has written a masterpiece, not since Hemingway has an author stimulated, tantalized a reader's senses through such delicate and colorful prose. This book is destined to become one of the greats, an international bestseller for centuries to come. We should all remove our hats and bow to the genius of this thought-provoking work. Bravo, Griffin, bravo.
I'm really glad we sent a copy to that guy, because he certainly wrote a great review of it.
Well, this is Forrest Griffin, everybody. UFC 101 in Philadelphia, one of the most anticipated fights in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championships.
Of anticipating fights.
Right. It's like Heinz 57 sauce. You should come out to that song. Anticipation.
You know what? I was talking about songs to come out to, and Dana's decided that my song is my song, and that's that. It's like, man, right. I like your song. Keep it.
It's
like,
a great song. And right. If you watch the beginning of The Departed.
Exactly. That's where I got it from. I can't lie.
It's a great movie.
I was a Dropkick Matt Murphy's fan before, but when I heard that song in The Departed, I was like, I'm Irish. I love the movie, of course, and I can't help it.
All right. This is Forrest Griffin. I'm Mike Straka. This has been Fox Fight Game. Until next time, enjoy the fights.